Obviously, on football today, the England squad has been announced. Some really big casualties that nobody was really expecting. Maguire isn't going. Jack Grealish not going. Maddison kicked out. Branthwaite, James Trafford, and then the two Liverpool boys, Curtis Jones and Kwanzaa. Thoughts on that squad, Dizzy?
Well, Maguire not going, I think that's through injury. So I guess fair enough. But then you say then Luke Shaw did make the squad, and how is he fit? Who knows? I think on midfield we've got 5 midfielders going: Trent, Gallagher, Mainu, Rice, and Wharton. And then there's a lot of forwards. I don't know. I think, to be fair, this is the first squad from Southgate, minus Luke Shaw, which I still don't understand. But then I guess we wouldn't have a left back if he didn't go. That I'm not overly upset with. I don't think he's ever really fancied Jack Grealish. I think he's only ever played him on form, really. But I think if you sit Southgate down in a dark room, you ask him to take a lie detector test, I think he'll admit that he never really fancied Grealish anyway. And I think Rashford not going. I think there's a lot of names that justifiably aren't going. So I say credit to Southgate. I don't think we can be too mad at this one, to be honest.
I think obviously as an Irishman, I don't have a horse in this race, but Lewis Dunk getting in ahead of Kwanzaa, Branthwaite is absolutely wild. I don't know. And he is a bit of a donkey, like, in all honesty. But yeah, I think there's been a couple of omissions. Yeah, it's mad. Trent being down as a midfielder is obviously good from Liverpool point of view. But yeah, the Lewis Dunk one, it really surprises me. I don't know, like, especially ahead of Branthwaite. Branthwaite should feel really unlucky because he's been a part of a very good Everton defense. So yeah, very surprised that Branthwaite particularly hasn't got a call.
I mean, I'm just really intrigued to see what Gallagher's role is, because I don't know what Gallagher does well.
Yeah, like, that's mad.
What's his role going to be in the squad? He's not a defensive midfielder because he lacks discipline. He runs around a lot, which everyone likes, but he runs around a lot because he makes a lot of mistakes and has to run around. He's not an attacking midfielder because he lacks quality in the final third. So what is he there for? At least, with a bit of bias, with Curtis Jones, you've got someone who can protect the ball and has relative experience of success with a younger England team, winning the under-21 Euros last summer, scoring in said final, being one of the best players of the tournament. That would probably be more useful to an England side that is looking to dominate games than what Gallagher provides. Because you could bring on Curtis Jones with 5 minutes to go and trust him to see out the game. If I bring Gallagher on with 5 minutes to go, he's going to lose the ball 3 times.
I don't.
What am I going to do there?
What's the point in Gallagher? I don't see the point in him.
Don't make sense. Branthwaite had to go because we've got no left back. Luke Shaw is a crock. He hasn't played since when? I remember he went off against Aston Villa. Did he play since then?
No.
So Aston Villa away, whenever that was his last game.
He plays Trippier at left back, by the way.
Kieran Trippier's not been good all season though. And
yeah, but he's going to play left back, you know it.
How about we just take a left footer? Because right now we've got one left footed defender in the squad. So everything is going to be focused down or gearing towards the right-hand side. So how about Branthwaite? I know we played at centre-back this year. He was out on loan at PSV last season where he played at left-back. So there's your left-back. And he's had a very good season. Why is he not going?
About left-back? Joe Gomez has actually been pretty good this season at left-back. He actually, I think, so maybe he's an option, but I do get you on the left. People that are natural to that position. You think Mitchell not in the squad. Listen, I know they haven't got much international experience, but Rico Henry, Alfie Doherty, somebody who actually plays left back, who isn't going to be injured. Because Luke Shaw is going to, I just got this horrible feeling, he's going to sprint in the first game.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And the leg's going to go again. It's crazy. Saka could play left back.
He's probably got some of the most experience in the squad to do it. He'd be one of the better options for it.
He probably has a better chance of getting. He should play left back instead of in the forward line. He's not one of England. He shouldn't start for England in the forward line. I'll be real. He is the definition of overrated. He's a good player. Nah, mate. What a penalty. That was a nice penalty as well. Nice penalty. Now, listen, I think you've got England can do better than Saka. I think Saka is a solid player, but like,
do you know what? Take all these Arsenal and let's see how much you win. Let's see.
Well, Arsenal don't win.
Tell
as
him
much
against
themselves.
Souls. Tell him
I think
again.
they'll be all
Tell him
right.
again.
Arsenal don't win much
France,
He hasn't
themselves.
win anything.
Against
So
France,
that's what
until he got taken off, he was cooking them, man. You got
Yeah,
taken off.
I would
everyone
say
was
that. I would say Saka for England has been absolutely brilliant for the last 2 years. As much as the thing you've got to get right, and this is the interesting thing about the squad, where you've got to get the balance right. There is always room for players that break through. So, for instance, Mainu and Adam Wharton are there, and I think I actually agree with both being there. They on the ball in midfield. Declan Rice is the best midfielder we've got who's going to play central midfield. But technically on the ball, you could argue those two have got better ability than him in that kind of control in the tempo of a game, although they're both very, very young and inexperienced. But with Mainu, you've actually got someone who dominated and did brilliantly in an FA Cup final and has won a trophy. When it comes to the front line, the problem, the one worry I've got, and that's why Saka's got to play, is that barring Harry Kane and Saka, there is no experience or goals at international level in that whole team.
No.
And the midfield might have a little bit of that as well, with Mainu and Adam Wharton being there. You look at the back line, what have you got? You've got John Stones and Kyle Walker-Trippier, who have got genuine international experience. And I think that you have to get the balance right between experience at international level, having won and achieved things at club level, and then you want that Club England feel where players have got a good relationship with each other. And I've just got a horrible gut feeling that he hasn't got the balance right.
You know what the craziest thing is? For a manager who's very pragmatic, he's taken the most attackers. So what is this? Is he now going to flip his entire strategy? But is he going to now flip his entire strategy and become attacking like we've asked him to be for a very long time?
Look at the trend. Look at the trend that's going on with other nations. You've seen Germany go and call back Toni Kroos because guess what? Even though they've got the Florian Wirtzes coming through and all those guys looking great, it's not core experience. International football is not 30. It's not a 38 game season. It is a tournament where moments are going to win you the tournament. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are the greatest footballers you've seen of this generation so far. Yeah, we can just agree that the odd point, even if you disagree. Yeah, even those guys have one each or two. They have three between them. Those guys, because these tournaments are won on moments. Mario Götze, Federico Chiesa, Raheem Sterling. It's moments by guys who don't always have to be, the top creme de la creme. But at the same time, if you can't get your balance and experience right, it's not likely that these newfound players are going to have these moments. Listen, I think Wharton, as Terry said, he's a brilliant young player. But there's going to be plenty of tournaments that he's going to be able to play going forward. There's going to be plenty of Euros and plenty of World Cups he can play in. I'm sorry, G.I. Jane should not be on the plane, fam. He should not be on the plane. Because no, and that's not even, I like Wharton, bro. I like him.
Why? Why do you call him G.I. Jane? No, that's why.
You know why I call him G.I. Jane? Don't ask me.
Big up Demi Moore, Big up Demi Moore.
But the point is that Jack Grealish and Maddison, even though they might not deserve directly to be on the plane, bro, these man can give us moments. When Liverpool don't do that, Tom. We're not. Listen, take the badge off for a second. It's just
it's a genuine. What tournament experience does Maddison have? Because he didn't go to the last Euros.
No, I'm not saying it has to be all of them, bro. For me, you have Raheem. No. Take it in. Wharton is on the plane. Gallagher is on the plane. But in terms of experience, there's no Raheem Sterling. Jadon Sancho is not on this plane. The only Englishman to play in a final apart from Maatsen. He's not. How is that? How? You have Marcus Rashford, who to me doesn't deserve to be anywhere near this crop. But again, in terms of touchline wingers, how many do we actually have? Touchline, direct, pacey wingers. How many do we have? None.
Yeah, but
Maybe
you're putting too much importance on experience because ultimately you have not won the major competitions since 1966. So how about Southgate's actually taking it? I think as Kobe Mainu being called up is amazing. His rise is fantastic. Taking Wharton is unbelievable. I think this is a ballsy squad from Southgate. And I think if players are good enough, their experience can become irrelevant. If they're good, look at Cole Palmer. He was warm. He wasn't even getting a look in at Man City. Gone to Chelsea, blown up. He's going to go to the Euros now. He's limited international experience, and he could easily win a game for you.
I get your point, but it's about the balance of it. And I think Mainu and Adam Wharton go in there is fine. But then you look at it and I go, well, Jack Grealish should actually, again, I think that it's the City way of playing. I always think it looks dangerous for England. Jack Grealish should be there for me as an example. I don't think you need Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins and Harry Kane. That's 3 number 9s. Unless you get injury problems, none of them are going to be there as an example. I just look at it and think to myself, a little bit more experience. I get Maguire not being out there is it. Whether it's Rashford, whether it's Raheem Sterling, a little bit of experience needs to be there. And I think sometimes what Southgate does is he looks at it and says, I can get some really good browning points by leaving out Rashford and Sterling because they haven't had good seasons. And people will go, yeah, that's the right decision, without thinking about the ramifications of the tournament. The only player that I genuinely...
It makes no sense.
Well, we don't know about Maguire's fitness. Like, he might be at a point where he's not.
What I'm saying is, like, if he's leaving out like the likes of Rashford for that reason and Grealish for the reason of their seasons aren't been good, why is Luke Shaw going and why is Maguire being?
But again, that's where it becomes a nonsense. But I equally look at it and think, like, Konza's good, right? Dunk's good, but I would say Konza's better. I've watched Branthwaite this year. I think he's better than some of the people that are on that plane, and none of them have got any experience. So I think it's the mixture of his decisions that I find just a little bit strange. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we have a great tournament out there. It starts in a lot of weeks' time, so we better be ready. But it's going to certainly be interesting.
We always doubt Southgate, and then he's been one of our best performing managers.
It's true. Who should be starting the first game, do you think, boys, for England? Out of the squad we now know is here, all being well and fit, who should be starting the game, Paddy? As in Chatty Patty?
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's confusing for a sec. But yeah, Pickford. Centre backs, Stones, if he's fit, and Gahey for me. Well, Trent's a right back, is a midfielder now, isn't he? I don't know, the fullback options aren't great, so it's going to have to be Trippier at left back, Walker at right back. Midfielders where it gets a bit techie, I'd say Declan Rice has to be in there. And then I'd probably put Mainu, but then I don't know if that midfield's good enough, really, on an international level. The midfield is really weak when you look at it. As in, like, when I look at the midfielders, in terms of creative midfielders that can actually get on the ball and pass it forward and break lines, there's no one in there that does that. So that is a big problem. Yeah, but he's not a midfielder though, is he? He's a forward.
Mainu does that. Mainu does it. It's just whether or not he's going to be good enough and ready for a tournament. We haven't seen. He can break the lines.
Mainu's ready. When you've got it, you've got it. Mainu's ready, innit? Mainu's ready. Yeah. Sometimes for me, you need to be thrown in the deep end in certain situations.
No, I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that.
Yeah, I'm just saying certain players aren't going to get
enough.
I know.
Can't look at Mainu and say he's a creative midfielder.
But Patrick, this is the issue. You're saying that there's not enough creativity in the starting. Just to start, there's nothing off the bench. Even if things aren't going well, I'm sorry, if things aren't going well, are you bringing on Wharton? Is that who you're bringing on, or would you bring on a Jack Grealish or a Jadon Sancho or a Sterling?
Are we also being a little bit blindsided by the graphic here?
Because 100%.
Because Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham they've been put into the forward category, haven't they?
Yeah.
Midfielders.
I think
the best midfield would be Rice, Trent, and Bellingham.
I do think that's quite balanced. I'd like to meet. I like. Do you know what it is? Even as a Liverpool fan, though, I think Kobe Mainoo should have a big part to play. Just because, for me, the way England play is very stagnant, and I feel like you need someone to consistently look to break the lines. And I think Kobe Mainoo and yes, GIJ, and I feel like those two are someone who I feel like can actually. I feel like if you're gonna break lines from a maestro perspective, it's those two guys in it. And I know, and that's why I feel like you have to play Bellingham. I feel like if Trent was from any other nation, most nations would make him a main stake in the team. I don't 100%. Think any other nation would have Trent in and out the team.
Well, if he played for any other club, it's the anti-Liverpool agenda with Trent. I'm telling you now, it is.
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm not going to do that. We're not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
Facts.
No, because we sound like we sound like Arsenal fans. I'm not going to go there. We sound like Arsenal.
Hey. And Jordan Henderson found his way onto many of
no need.
That's what I'm saying.
I back Jordan Henderson. I quite liked him for him.
No.
You know what though? I feel like this. I feel like this England team is close to being perfect. It really is. I feel like the fact that Branthwaite's not in the squad really annoyed me. Like we saw what Dunk against Brazil. I think 2 friendlies in a row he flopped. So I don't think Dunk should have gone. Branthwaite should have gone. I feel like not having Sterling, Rashford, Grealish, and Maddison. I think Grealish had to go. I think what Monts was talking about having a touchline wing with Grealish, when he gets that ball and he just draws defenders to him. He'll get past him. He pulls the ball back. He'll draw a foul. You know, in tournaments, it's all about moments, and then moments could come from Grealish getting clipped outside the box. You have a free kick, you go and get a goal. Like these things can happen. I just look at the squad now. I think the defense is very weak. I'm looking now. I'm like Dunk, Gomez, Guéhi, Konza, Shaw, who we don't know who's fit, Stones, Trippier, Walker. Like, come on, Trippier was
when you say it like that.
And the thing is, we're gonna get away against playing teams like, and no disrespect, the Serbias and this and that. But when you come up against the Frances and them type of teams, tactically they're so astute. What are we gonna do with that team? Like, and I love Wharton, but what are we gonna put Wharton against France? Like,
he's not gonna play. That's the thing. That's why. It's like, bro, he's a good player, but he's not gonna get minutes because Kobe Mainoo is there. He's not going to get. He's gonna get those here damn minutes.
He is, but what I would say, if Mainoo's going to be this is why I think it's intriguing to see who's going to play. Because if Mainoo's going to get a lot of minutes, then I understand why Adam's there. Because Rio Ferdinand got taken to the World Cup in '98. He was sort of the last player on the plane. There was almost zero chance of him playing, but it was almost to be in. One thing that is hard for the players to learn is that being away from your family, that almost a month you could be there, kind of isolated. Yeah. So, but obviously, if Mainoo plays a lot and he barely features, then you look at it as he's there for experience. But if both of them barely play, then you're looking at it like, well, you're better off putting someone in that you see as more experience that could actually impact. If you're not bringing either of them on ever, then you're looking at it. And by the way, it could be Adam Wharton that comes on and Mainoo that's there for experience. But it's certainly going to be interesting. This super chat here.